So this week's how-to is how to overcome infidelity, or more like how to try and overcome infidelity, because I don't ever believe that there is one set answer when people ask that question, can you overcome infidelity? It really depends on the individuals involved. It depends on the type of infidelity. It also depends on whether you want to try. So I thought I'd put a list together of a few things that might help you if you are looking at whether you can overcome the hurt and pain associated with infidelity. So my first point is that know that you might not be able to. This is a journey and it takes a lot of time, and you might start off on that journey with the best intentions, but you also need to know and give yourself permission that if you can't overcome infidelity, it's okay. At least you did try. And if you're not willing to try, that's okay as well, because maybe the hurt was so bad, maybe the relationship was just not working and this was the final straw. So really you need to be able to give yourself a break with this, but know that whatever decision that you make, it's the right one as long as it's made by you. Now, it's also important that if you are looking at trying to move past anything, that you take time to actually feel the emotions involved. Often people get very angry, and understandably, and they want to lash out, but you need to take some time to put your hand on your heart and say to yourself, what do I actually feel? Do I feel hurt? Do I feel angry? Do I feel betrayed? Do I actually feel less within myself because then what's going on with me if they were able to cheat on me? These are all emotions that are very real, and sometimes people want to bury that into their stomach or they want to move past it. But in order to move past it, you actually need to stop and feel for it and actually experience what it is that's going on and the negative emotions that are associated with this horrible thing that's happened to you. Now, it's also really important that if you are considering about how can I move past this in this relationship, that you take some time to reflect back to why you got into that relationship in the first place. Have a look at what was there before the infidelity. Was there a lot of love? Was there a lot of commitment? Was there a family? Did you get along really well? Was there a lot of passion? And then there was a period of things not going as well that led to the infidelity, but before that things were great. It might be a moment where you reflect back and look at your relationship and think, you know what, we had a lot of problems and I really wasn't happy and I don't want to work on this anymore and I can't overcome infidelity. So it's really important to remind yourself of why you first got into the relationship. Remind yourself of the good qualities that are there, because if you are going to try and overcome infidelity, you need to remind yourself of what it is that you are fighting for. Now, another really important point is, do you think that this is a one-off, or do you think that this is something that will continue? There are certain people that I feel that are hardwired to be multiple cheaters. Whether they are always going to be cheaters, I can't answer that question, but there are definitely some personality types where it's about the thrill and the chase and the ego. And for some people, their ego can never be satisfied just with one person, no matter how hard they try. So that's really to do some deep soul searching within yourself to challenge yourself. Is this just a one-off thing? Is this something that was related to what was going on in their life or what was going on in their relationship? Or are they that person that is always going to cheat? Now, the most important question to ask yourself and the other person, if you're trying to overcome infidelity, is why? Why did it happen? It doesn't mean that this is about finding an excuse, but it's looking at the why so you can start to work out what you have to focus on within the relationship to move past this. A great example is, if there was a relationship where someone was feeling really unloved and there wasn't enough attention and they were feeling disconnected and all they wanted to do was feel wanted and needed again, then that's definitely not an excuse, because there's a lot of people who are in that situation and who don't cheat. But the people that are, it might give a couple somewhere to start off with, where to work. It could be a relationship issue, or it could be an issue within the person that they feel they need this intense need and want to be satisfied in a relationship. And as their partner, you might want to support them through that and for them to get help first before you can work out what's going on in your relationship. So remember, it's not a reason or an excuse, it's just looking at the why so you can look at what is it specifically that you have to work on and work with. Now, the last thing is that this is a process, and it is a process that's going to take time, and you are going to have good days and bad days. So just like I said in the beginning, that you need to give yourself a break, whether you can go through with this or you can't, or whether you start and you can't overcome all the negative emotions associated with it, that this is something that's going to take time. Rebuilding trust is not easy. Overcoming infidelity is very difficult and very hard. There's no easy answer to it. It's something that you have to work through. So regardless of where you are in your relationship status, whether this is relevant to you or it's information that you can pass on to a friend, it's really important that we do talk about infidelity a lot more, because these days we don't have a universal definition. A lot of people think it's having sex with somebody or being intimate with them. But what happens when you find somebody that's sliding into someone else's DMs when they shouldn't be there? So it's really important that we do talk about it, and do talk about it more openly in a matter-of-fact way. So I hope that helps, and if you have a how-to that you want to see me do a video on, or you have an Ask Dr. Nikki, make sure you jump over to my Facebook page and you can ask me anything.